Hey everyone, I have another new face. You've heard me mention this young lad before, and
A few times.
I had the honor of working with him for about 7 weeks down in Poga and Elk Mills, and Trevor and
Doc.
some of the other awesome folks. Anyway, Ryan and I stayed in touch, and Ryan has left Poga, and since then he has been committed to Western North Carolina, and he started a group. It's his group. They're called Operation Boots on the Ground, and his name is Ryan. Ryan,
Good to see you again, brother.
same here, man. I had a chance to chat with him some before this video and catch up a bit and hear how this story after story after story of what he's encountering and seeing down in North Carolina. He's basing out of Boone, but he's going all over the disaster area, taking supplies.
Yeah, I've been running supplies late into. I'll get calls for service or asking for propane or heaters or eating food, blankets, pillows, sleeping bags, tents, and I'll get them sometimes up into 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just trying to run and keep up and get people what they need to be able to make it through the winter.
Something that I've noticed, not all of them, but I've noticed how many veterans. Ryan is an Army veteran. I've noticed throughout this disaster how many veterans I've encountered who are either retired and helping, or they've given up their daily life to come out into the disaster zone. At churches as well, to try to aid and help. And you know, I've shared it with you on here before. There's thousands of stories, and there's so many who are impacted by this disaster.
And will be for years to come.
Yeah. So, what's your thoughts at this point? We're now what, 3-4 months in?
We're about 4 months, 120 something days. I think we're at 128 or 129. I don't know. I'm starting to lose count on them. But I mean, like just behind us alone, you can see all the garbage still lining their waterways. You know, like you and I were talking about earlier today, there's still people that are trying to build their homes back, or even just get the process started. And it's gonna definitely take, you know, different parts of Tennessee and North Carolina so long to build back, especially without the help that we desperately need.
Yeah, so much dependency on this recovery is donations and volunteers.
Definitely, yeah.
Coming in. I was just telling you a story about up the street from where we're standing, the crews from Kentucky that are here rebuilding homes. A couple of preachers and retired police officers and family members that are here building homes from the ground up, and in many cases their churches are paying for all of the materials, you know, and the victims can't move forward. In so many cases, the victims can't move forward.
Well, and I've come to the realization that I'm not gonna call them victims anymore. Maybe you might look at it from this way too: is these are survivors.
They are survivors.
You know, and nobody here likes the term being called a victim, because you know somebody's always worse than me. Somebody's always worse than me.
Yeah.
So I've started using survivors because that's what they are. They're some insane warriors out here trying to make it through, and it's one day at a time.
How are you going?
I'm physically exhausted. I'd love to go home, but you know, when I do go home, I'm sitting on my couch enjoying that little bit of time that I do get with my family, and you know, I'll get a request for service or help, and that tears my heart apart that I can't. I'm not out there helping. So, you know, I've talked with my wife about it, and she's like, "Well, you need to be out there right now more than being here. We're good here. You go take care out there."
Well, the the emotional stress, which wears on your physical ability, you know,
Oh yeah.
and the things that you're exposed to and see, and you know, you go back to where you're staying at, and you're living in a camper.
Yep.
But you go back to a camper, and it's like you said, it's like Taj Mahal.
Yeah, compared to what a lot of these folks are dealing with. Yeah.
You almost feel guilty
Most definitely.
because you walk away from someone that's staying in a tent with a buddy heater and depending on someone else for supplies and food.
Yeah.
And you know they're cold.
Most definitely. You know, and they don't even, like, a lot of people that, you know, the areas that we've been in, their jobs have even washed away. So
Yeah.
it's not like they can even go to work, you know, to try to help even just get their mind off of things. You know, they're just in it every day.
And so many of them lost their vehicles too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, so if I have a job, I can't
to it
get
now.
there, or there's no job, there's no car, and especially as I'm not knocking females on any account, but
Just wasn't done
especially
correctly.
for males that are, you know, brought up to be the head of the household, and they have a wife and they have children, and they're flat dependent upon someone else.
You know,
Because when they walk outside their tent, the realization, I can't provide because I don't have a job. You know, I can't go look for work because I don't have a car, and most of the jobs are washed away.
yeah. You know, I was just down there in Irwin, and that whole little city down there is just absolutely destroyed. There's probably 7 or 8 factories down there that I drove by that I'm sure employed thousands of people. And there's I don't even know where to begin for them.
And how, as a lone individual, you know, and there's thousands of groups
Oh yeah.
that are trying to help either rebuild roads with gravel or rebuild homes, and the volunteers has kind of dwindled
Yeah.
as time's gone on.
People are starting to forget, you know, the media is looking at you know, the DC plane crashes now, and the fires that were going on out in California. And you know, I had a couple interviews set up to do with Fox, but there was other late breaking news that was more important, which, I mean, okay, it's all right, we'll be here. I'll still keep working it, because might not be late breaking anymore, but that's what the sad part is this is the reality every day.
Yeah.
For so many.
Yeah. Looking around, I mean, every street you go down over here,
It's just destroyed.
it's someone in a shed or someone in a camper, you know, and there's just mounds of debris. It's like they need equipment in here to start removing the debris out, and there's not enough equipment and not enough volunteers, and like you said, it's going to take years.
Oh yeah.
It's going to take
Especially
years.
at this pace.
Yeah, and then you know, you have the whole thing of the emotional or the psychological recovery of families, like the gentleman you were talking about that lost 11 family members. You know,
Yeah.
just unbelievable.
And you know, there's going to come a time for mental health for those people, but it already takes so long to get mental health in the United States help. Anyways, there's so many aspects to this that many don't even begin to understand. That I didn't even fully understand when I first came out on day 2. Just wanted to run a couple supply loads, and now I'm still here 120 something days later.
If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But Ryan was sharing with me, since coming over here to work, the post-disaster effort, how it's changed his life, and his renewed faith
Most definitely.
for him personally.
Yeah, well, 2 years ago before the storm, I almost lost my little boy to something called Guillain-Barré syndrome. And I made a promise then that when the Lord needed me, I'd be there. And You know, I was a very different man than I am now when I first drove into this storm. And there's so many things that I can only explain through. It was the Lord looking out for people and taking care of people and guiding me. You know, I say multiple times a day during my prayers, Lord, just continue to lead my hands to work and put me where my feet need to be.
Yeah.
And it's
Amen.
definitely all thanks to the big man upstairs on being able to help people, because definitely the community's coming together.
You can spend days. I know when I left Poga and actually ended up here, because this is in my path home, and ended up here and ended up a couple streets over and with the Ed Project and now a couple other things. But the Lord's going to guide you, man. He's going to put you where you need to be.
Most definitely.
And just like down in the Poga Elk Mills, man, the number of times per day that things happen that you couldn't explain, that was only by the Lord's doing and dealings.
Yeah, they weren't even supposed to get power back on there until, was it February, I think they said. We had, with my team coming in there, we were able to help cut in to a really hard hit area out there that they were expecting it to take forever. And they help cut in so that the power crew could get in, because they were subcontracted out of another state, I believe.
Yeah, they were.
As a matter of fact, when I was just going through there like a week or two ago, the guys with the chainsaws had just showed up there. From FEMA, they were being paid by FEMA. They were from another state cutting in, and they were like, we were told that this whole area was devastated. Now everybody's got their power back on now. I was like, you're welcome. Have a great day. Thanks for cutting out a little bit. Yeah.
Thanks, but the volunteers and community responded.
Oh yeah, down there in Pogie
it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Good people, man. Definitely so. Well, man, believe it or not, I think I said every time I've been to Hampton, where we are, it's rained, and it's cold.
Yeah.
And
it rained most of yesterday in the Boone area, and then driving up today. The water levels are really high. I know I stopped at one place this morning on the ride up here, and the lady that I was talking to, she was like, I hope they don't come up much higher, because it's going to start worrying people again. I said,
oh yeah, I would be too.
I understand that completely, man.
Well, man, here is from the Hope for Survival family. Here is a donation to help you guys, and as donations come in, we'll help you more.
Well, I appreciate that very much.
I know it's not easy, and it's like my wife said, the first time I brought her into the disaster area was here in Hampton. And she commented, she said, this just makes you want to take out your personal checkbook and write a check to everyone.
Yeah.
And coming from her, that was a strong statement, and I understand. When someone's cold or hungry, it's like, well, if there's nothing in the donation bucket, I'm just going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And then that impacts your own family. So,
with a lot of help from a lot of different people, folks like yourself, we're coming together. We'll get them back right. It's just going to take us some time, and one team, one fight.
Yeah. Well, God bless you, man, for what you all are doing down in North Carolina and all around.
Thank you.
Most of all, just take care of yourself.
Same to you, brother.
And keep the faith, and when you have that opportunity, share it with others. And there's probably a lot of ears and hearts right now that are primed and open that they need to hear the word.
Oh yeah. I dropped a shed off to a lady the other day, and she said, I lost my faith when my husband died several years back. She said that I was actually her inspiration to help find him again, and that blew me away.
Yeah. You never know. I mean, and there's a young lady at the location you just went in, just by accident. Just by accident, right before Christmas, when we were out here in this parking lot meeting with the weed doc, and we were passing off turkeys that Tracy's group had donated, and taking them here and to Poga. And my wife just encountered a lady in here that lost everything, and we're helping her. It's like they're everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Sadly.
Yep.
You know, and we circled her, prayed for her, and made a donation to her. And I just visited with her and shot a short video with her to get an update. And
She's doing better now?
she just got to move back into the upstairs of her home last week. They just got her HVAC back working.
Nuts.
But her downstairs is still full of mold. They just sprayed it last week, but she didn't have anywhere to go.
Right.
So it's it's story after story, Ryan. You want to help everyone that you can, right?
Yep.
So all right, man, I'm gonna get you out of here because I know you got to go back to North Carolina. But God bless you, brother. And
appreciate it.
You take care of yourself.
Will do. Thanks, Hope, for survival. I appreciate it. We'll make you proud.
Thanks, everyone, for your donations. Blessings. So here we have some buddy heaters and propane that I'm passing off to Ryan. That was donated by Brother Otis and Mrs. Otis, and they drove them all the way up from Georgia. And I spent some time with them this past week, but they specifically asked me to try to get these down into North Carolina. And when they asked me that, I knew just the guy to reach out to ensure that would happen. So Brother Otis and Ms. Otis, thank you all for your compassion and kindness. And these are headed to North Carolina shortly. So I'll help Ryan get them loaded up, and they'll be on their way.
Thanks again.